Okay, so this is just going to be some chapter 5 test review. Oh, you should. Sorry. Chapter 5 test review. Okay, and these are just different concepts that I want to absolutely make sure that you guys are like really good with. Okay, so let's look for example number 1. If I give you a triangle, it looks kind of like that. Excuse me. And I tell you that this is 40 degrees. This one is x plus 10 degrees. And this is x degrees. And I'm asking you to find the value of x. Okay, find the value of x. Anyone remember? This is called the triangle sum theorem. What do we have to do, Martin?
Everything equals up to 180.
Right, so the sum of everything. So add everything together and it'll equal 180. So you can start at any corner, it doesn't really matter. So 40 plus the x plus 10 plus another x is equal to 180. Then we're just going to combine like terms. So combine your numbers together and combine the x's together. So how many x's would I have? 2 of them. So 2x plus 40 and 10 gives you plus 50 is equal to 180. Then move the 50. So now we're going to subtract from both sides. 2x will equal 130. And then to get x by itself, you divide both sides by 2. So that would give us a value of x equals 65 degrees. Okay, you are not going to be able to use calculators on this test. So make sure, if you need to, if you have trouble with mental math, make sure you write down on the side of your paper or something like that. Just to make sure that you're doing that part right. Okay. Let's see. Let's try another one. Number 2. If I give you, let's say, 2 parallel lines going this way, okay, and I tell you that these are parallel, so I put these 2 arrows on them, that tells you if they have the same thing, that these are parallel, right? And then I have another one, another set going this way, so we're going to make this a little complicated looking, so that means these are parallel. Move that up a little for you. And then I have one that goes through here that makes a triangle. It's a little complicated here. Okay. And then I'm going to label these as angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. 1, 2, and 3. If I tell you that the measure of angle 1 is equal to 120 degrees, and I ask you to find measure of angle 3. You know that the measure of angle 1 is equal to 120. Find the measure of angle 3. So this is kind of, we're going to use all the different things that you've learned. So whatever they're giving you, you want to plug that in first. Okay, so instead of angle 1, I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to write 120. I'm just going to write it right on top. Is there anything else that you could label on here that you know? What else could we label? Could you find the measure of angle 2? How would you know what that measure of angle 2 is? These together would equal what? 180. So if those together equal 180, and this is 120, what would measure of angle 2 be? 2 would be 60 because they are supplementary. Okay, so if this is 60, I'm just going to rewrite it on top of there. That is 60. Now, how can you find angle 3? Say it again. Add them? Not exactly. What type of angle relationship is there between 3 and 2? What type of angle relationship do those have? Alternate what? Interior, okay? These 2 lines are parallel, okay? These are on different sides of that transversal. So alternate interior tells you what about angle 3? It is equal to 60. Okay, because it is an alternate interior angle, it would be equal to 60. Okay, so measure of angle 3 would be equal to 60 degrees. Is there another way that you could have found the measure of angle 3? You could have looked at these two as same side interiors. Okay, same side interior tells you they do what? Together they add 100. They add to give you 180. Okay, so you also could have found the 60 from there. Okay, so either relationship would have been fine to use there. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Let's try for number 3. If I give you a straight line with this is called a bisected angle, okay, so the angle is cut in two, and I say that this side is 2x minus 4 degrees, and this one is x plus 16 degrees. And I ask you to solve for x. Solve for x. What do I know about this whole thing? It's equal to 180 because they're supplementary, right? So that means if you add these together, so x plus 16 plus 2x minus 4, the whole thing will equal 180 degrees. And if the whole thing equals 180 degrees, that means you can combine the like terms on this side. So add together your x's and add together your numbers. X plus 2x gives us what? 3x. Positive 16 minus 4 gives you plus 12 equals 180. Then to move this over, you should subtract 12 from both sides. We'll subtract 12, we get 3x is equal to 168. And then to get x by itself, you should divide both sides by 3. If you divide both sides by 3, what do we get for an x value? Do it on the side of your paper if you need to. Say it again. 56. Yep. 56 degrees is your x value. Questions on how I did that? No? Okay, something that we haven't gone over for a couple days. It wasn't actually on your quiz, okay, but it will be on your test. For number 4, if I ask you to find the sum of the interior angles. Find the sum of the interior angles of a hexagon. Find the sum of the interior angles of a hexagon. I gave you a formula and it was in your notes, okay? And I don't have a poster for it. But what's the formula to find interior angles? Yep.
The number of sides it has, you subtract it by 2, then you multiply it by 180.
Perfect, okay? So the sum is equal to n minus 2 times 180. Okay, and the n here stands for the number of sides in a figure. So how many sides does a hexagon have? 6. So we would plug in 6 minus 2 and then multiply by 180. Okay, you always want to do what's inside the parentheses first. So 6 minus 2 would give you 4. And if you multiply 4 times 180, you should get 720 degrees. So that is one more formula that you definitely want to know. Okay, let's try another one. We're going to do just a couple more. Okay, for number 5. If I give you a figure, looks like this, and goes in like that. Okay, and I label these, that is A, B, and C, and this is angle O. In this lever, so AOB is equal to 3x minus 10 degrees. And BOC is equal to x plus 14 degrees. If I tell you if the measure of angle AOC is equal to 84 degrees, find the measure of angle AOB. So AOC is equal to 84 degrees, and I want you to find AOB. So AOC is this whole thing. Okay, so we're telling you all of these added together, both of these added together should equal 84. So to write that equation, you would write 3x minus 10 plus x plus 14 is equal to 84. And then we actually need to solve for x. So add together your letters, combine your like terms here, and combine your numbers. So 3x plus x gives you 4x. Negative 10 and positive 14 should be a plus 4 is equal to 84. Then move your 4, so subtract 4 from both sides. That'll leave you with 4x is equal to 80. And then to get x by itself, divide both sides by 4. And you'll get x equals 20. Now, are you done? No. Okay? You have to take this x equals 20 and you have to plug it in. Make sure you plug it in for the right one. We want to find AOB. So just this one. Okay? Just that one, and you plug in 20 for the x. Okay? So if you plug in 20 for the x, you do 3 multiplied by 20 minus 10. 3 multiplied by 20 is 60. And 60 minus 10, 50 degrees is what I'm looking for. Okay, so make sure you would plug it in there. Anybody have questions so far? Not too bad. Okay. How about for this one? If I give you a flat line here, can't see, sorry. If I give you a flat line and I cut it in a couple places here. And I'm going to label this. This is W, X, and Z. This is V, and this is Y. And I tell you that angle WXV is 45 degrees. Angle VXY is 59 degrees. And I ask you to find measure of angle YXZ. Find the measure of angle YXZ. So if you look at this, we want to find Y to X to Z. So I want to find this angle right here. Any ideas? How could I find that measure? What do you know about the whole thing altogether? All of them together would equal 180. So you could set up that equation. 45 plus 59 plus angle YXZ is equal to 180. Then you would combine your like terms, so 45 and 59. What is 45 plus 59? 104. So 104 plus angle YXZ is equal to 180. And then to get what you need by itself, you'd subtract 104. And that gives us our answer. Angle YXZ is equal to, what's 180 minus 104? 76 degrees. That's your answer. I'm going to show you two more, and the only reason I'm going to show you these is because they are review. Okay, so they're review from first semester stuff. Okay, and then we'll be done and I'll give you guys some time. Okay, so review number one. Okay, review number one if I give you a triangle and I tell you, oops, sorry, that this side is 15 centimeters and this side is 9 centimeters. Sorry, I kind of made my triangle a little too long. And I ask, find the length of the missing side. Of the right triangle. Okay, so we're telling you that this is a right triangle. And I'm asking you to find this missing side length. So you can put an X on there if it helps you. Does anyone remember, how do you find missing triangle side lengths? Say it again. They don't equal 180. That's when you have angles inside. So this is kind of a review. Yep. Right. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, this is the Pythagorean theorem. So side squared, so your 9 squared, plus the other side squared, which is x squared, is equal to the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so the diagonal one, the one that's not straight up or down, this is called the diagonal, is always the c squared. So if you square these, 9 squared is 81, plus x squared equals, what's 15 squared? 225. Then you subtract, so you'd subtract 81 from both sides. And we got x squared is equal to, if you subtract this correctly, you should get 144. So is this side equal to 144? No. How do you solve that? You have to root both sides. What's the square root of 144? 12. Okay. So this missing side would be 12, and it's technically centimeters. Okay, so you do have to remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then the other review question, review number 2, we're going to draw a cone. I'm not a very good artist, sorry. Okay, so a cone that looks kind of like that. Okay, and I tell you that the height is 8 centimeters. The side length is x centimeters. And this bottom is 6 centimeters. And ask you to find the length of x. Find the length of x. Does this actually have anything to do with being a cone? Do I have to use any of those like cylinder or cone formulas or anything like that? No. This is actually just writing a triangle basically. Okay? And this triangle, how would I find the length of x? Same thing we just did. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay? So your a and b are always these sides. So a squared is 8 squared. B squared would be 6 squared. Is equal to, my side length is x squared. And then we have to solve. So what's 8 squared? 64. Plus 6 squared is 36 is equal to x squared. You add those together, 64 and 36 gives you 100. And that's equal to x squared. And then how do I get x by itself? Square root both sides. And if you root both sides, what do we got for x? 10. Square root of 100 is 10. Okay. So you guys are going to work on your review right now. Okay. I just did about half of what's on the review. Okay. You are going to be working on the other half. Okay. Does anyone have